Hello. Hello. Hey guys, welcome to our channel again. Our topic for this live stream is why most of the Filipinos like to work in the cruise line industry. Okay, I'm just gonna share it to you based on my experience, based on with my friends' experience, Most of the reason, hold on. Welcome to Rose and Arvin Venture. Okay. Why did we why most of the Filipinos like to be in the cruise line industry? First, the salary. You know, mm, when we work in the cruise, our salary in the Philippines is very very small. Even if we have like our parents spend like how many thousands to send us to college for 4 years for us to get a degree. And after we finish college, now it would be time for us to make money. And most, if we will be renting in the city, we're not we're not gonna make it for our with our salary. Like when I was when I finished my degree in hotel and restaurant management, I have to work, right? I went to apply for it in hotel. And guess what? How much I earned? You know how much I earned? Very little, like the minimum wage. And you know what? I earn very little, even if I am a degree holder. So it's like you have to start like around $8, like yeah, $8 a day. In the Philippines, that's our wage, $8 or maybe $10. So that's the minimum wage. So what will happen? Most of the Filipinos, we just after we graduate, we just do because in Philippines, yes, because in the Philippines, we are the agency, this hiring agency we have in the Philippines. They're not gonna hire us if we don't have any experience. Like if we want to work in the cruise line, they won't hire us without having like they will require like 5 years experience in the hotel industry, like mostly in the hotel. And they also want not like just a small hotel. They want this hiring agency would want us to have would hire a crew who are having an experience like from the 5-star hotel. And in the Philippines, there's like in Cebu, there's only like one 5-star hotel in Cebu. So yeah, most of the Filipinos, we just work there for at least a year, or if we don't get lucky or nothing happens, we keep applying. So at least if after a year we get already the experience, so now we can move step forward to apply for like getting out in the Philippines, getting out for that minimum salary in the Philippines. So that's it. First, the salary in the cruise line, the salary is really better. And plus, in the cruise line, after our salary, we get the best salary compared in the Philippines. And also, after we get our good salary compared in the Philippines, we also we can travel, up. Okay, first salary, and then also when we apply in the cruise line, the cruise line industry, or the principal, like the owner of the cruise line, they will take care of all our expenses, right? Like for the ticket, as soon as we sign in, for the ticket. So actually, even for our visa, so actually, the it is a good deal as long when you can get into the cruise line, because you don't have to pay anything. Even if we like, on my time, the agency was based in Manila, in the capital city, so I have to fly from the place where I stay. I have to fly to the capital city in the Philippines. You have to pay for the flight first and for my hotel. But you know what? As soon as I get my schedule for the cruise line, like as soon as, like, 2 days or 3 days before I go back to the cruise, I sign in to the cruise line. The cruise line will pay everything. So it's a good deal, really. And also, as soon as we get in there, as soon as we are in the cruise, oh gosh, guess what? Cruise line is going everywhere, like Mediterranean, every different places. So you got to travel. Once you were in the cruise line, you got to travel. You can travel everywhere without paying anything. So like myself, I've been to different neat places, like beautiful places, historical. Like I even been to Jerusalem. Which baptized in the Jordan River. Yeah, I was baptized in the Jordan River. It was very cold there. I mean, yeah, it was like before, when I was in college, I really want to get in there in the cruise line, but yeah, I was, yeah, my husband. He's like, I've been to different good places compared to my husband. Like, before we get married, I was there, the Jordan River, Egypt, Pyramid of Egypt. So anyway, yeah, that's the good thing. Why most of the Filipinos? Because first, the salary. The second is, um we will be able to travel, see different places without spending millions. Like, actually, only millionaires Filipinos, or like big huge businessmen, can go like abroad, or just be a tourist, or the free from the company. But for us, ordinary Filipino, we have to have like millions or thousands. How many thousands? Not a million, like thousands. So it was really a great deal for us. So first, yeah, that's it. The salary and the places we can go. We can see. Like, you know what? In the cruise line, you would you would really like, before I went in there, I never know how hard it is to work in the cruise line. In the cruise ship. In the cruise ship. Oh, hey, thank you, Weekly Bakes, tamsak dances. Thank you so much, Weekly Bakes. Weekly Bakes. Thank you. Mega shout out to you. Anyway, I'm just talking about here about, because I used to work in the cruise line, so I know. I would like to share to everybody why everybody likes, like, falling in line, likes, dreams to work in the cruise line, because of the salary, big good salary, and you get to see different places. Like, if we went abroad, like if we go to Canada, right? Because there's a lot of Filipinos who is aiming to go to Canada, or to go to Arabia, outside Philippines, like Singapore. But say if you go there, you only stay in one, like we called it like land base, right? We only stay there for like inside that country, right? But in the cruise line, it depends on the itinerary of the ship. So if the ship is in this year, or for the first 5 months, the ship will stay in Mediterranean, so you will be able to see different places in Mediterranean, or in this time we're gonna be like in different itinerary, so you will be able to go there as long as you are off duty. Of course, like working in the cruise ship, you really have the time. You're gonna have to choose. It's either you're gonna sleep or you're gonna spend time outside. Like this is what when I was working, this is you're gonna have 9 months or 8 months contract. So you, in other words, you will be staying in the in the cruise ship for 8 to 9 months without day off. You know, but see, imagine you will be staying there. You will be working without day off every day. And there are times that you get to be working like 15 hours or 16 hours. It depends if the thing is very busy. And especially if like me, I always like as soon as I get in there, I always like to have a cross training. I like to know a lot. Like because one day I don't want to be like when I was in the cruise line, I was hired as a restaurant steward. You know how the restaurant steward is. That's the beginning of being a waitress. You know, a restaurant steward cleaning and just carrying heavy trays, and then the plates. I mean, for me, I was so little. Like I was blessed on the time when I was in the cruise line because most of my assignments would be like greetings got in the buffet, in the morning. Greetings. And yeah, I was in greetings, but then maybe, I don't know, for some reason, I was like thinking maybe I was so small. Like they might thought that I can't do the heavy job. But I don't think so. But those are my thoughts. Why they always put me in the greetings. But also I always smile. Like it's like even if I'm so tired, I'm very upset already. But still, with to our guests, they don't deserve nothing but smile. They don't deserve to know that we are not happy because we have to make them happy in the cruise. So we don't. Hi, Miss Tisang Hilal. Thank you for your thank you, Miss Tisang Hilal, for your thumbs up. Mega shout out to you. Oops, I'm gonna have to put all their names. Yeah, anyway, si Mami Dish. Oh, shucks. Salamat, Mami Dishang. Salamat, Mami Dishang Anandoy. Salamat. Ganito lang talaga. Pasukli-sukli lang. Salamat po. I'm just talking. So, yun. Ka-LS ko lang, kaya di ko magamit pa ang aking... ganun pala yan. Ka-LS ko lang, kaya di ako magamit pa ang aking main account na loves. No problem po. Shout out sa iyo na Weekly Bakes. Shout out daw sa iyo Weekly Bakes. Salamat po. Alam nyo, appreciate ko talaga kayo. Mami Dishang and Andoy. At saka si Weekly Bakes. At saka si It's Me Winaro Si It's Me Winaro na ko siya na-meet ko rin siya sa yung Mami Dishang and Andoy. At saka si Weekly Bakes, talaga sila, it's not gonna be all the time, but most of the time, sila. I'm happy. Nagda-drop by talaga sila sa bahay ko. Salamat po. So, anyway, pag what's this? Mami Dishangan, and pag may tanong po kayo or just let me know lang po ha. Otherwise, I will just keep going and going. It's a good thing na din kasi po ito, yung kaysa yung mag-upload pa ako, kung i-record ko lang siya, tapos i-upload, ang tagal kaya, alam niyo na, ang tagal niyang ma-upload, o di ba? So, mas mabuting i-live na lang para diretso na. Ay, ang sweet niyo po, Miss, Mami Dishang, Miss Tisang Hilaw. Parang naano ka na talaga dito sa no? Kasi dito sa Amerika, di ba? Sweetheart, sugar, honey. Yan yung mga talaga sa kanila, di ba? Ang sweet. Kaya, ayun. Ako sa'yo, nagstay ako kay sa'yo kanina. Kaya lang, lalakad-lakad eh. Kaya open lang yung phone ko sa'yo. Iniwan ko lang. Oo, yan. Inspiring din kay na magbibigay ng encouragement yang Mami Liz yung sweet endearment. Tama yan. Sweet. Drive ako habang kinig sa'yo, ha? Okay. Okay po, salamat. Nako, hindi ko magkaya yan. Yung magde-drive tapos pa, gikinig. Kasi bagong driver pa lang ako eh. Kaya yan, hindi ko kaya mag-drive at saka makinig. Pero ingat po kayo, Mami Disyang and Andoy. Mami Disyang, ay, wag kang hindi kita tatanungin para hindi ka hindi ka mag-answer sa akin. Anyway, yan, ka lang, okay lang din, Mami Disyang, kung hindi ka, kung wala kang, kailangan mong mag-focus dyan eh, sa pag-drive. I really appreciate sa tamsak mo at saka sa pag-drop by. Thank you so much. Yan, yun, sana ba tayo? Doon na tayo sa, yeah, it's not easy to work in the cruise line despite why most of the Filipinos like to work in the cruise line despite of, despite of like no day off. Yung sa Pilipinas, when we were in the Philippines, everybody likes to have a day off because they would say like, oh, I know that when I was working in the Philippines, I always, when I am on day off and if there is a vacant, like one of my colleagues want to absent during my day off, they can always call me because I would just work. I don't like to have a day off because in the Philippines, if you don't work, you don't get paid. So in other words, if I work on my day off, I'll get more money. And it's just like, even if it's my day off, like for the whole day, we will be working there for a whole day, you're gonna be making like $8 to $10, So anyway, yeah, in the Philippines, most of my colleagues, they would say, no, I cannot, because there are times like the hotel would tell us to, hey, can you not take a day off tomorrow because we are very busy, or hey, there's no day off this month because we are very busy. But you know what, most of my colleagues would say, no, I got to do something. I have a plan. I have to go somewhere. I am tired. I don't want to work anymore for my day off. So, yun, nagko-complain. But when you are in the cruise line, when you are working in the cruise ship, you would be like, dang, this is like nothing. You have, the work in the, in the Philippines, we have like one day off, but in the cruise line for 8 to 9 months, you have no day off. So, and for our job, we have to, like breakfast, if we are working for breakfast would be like 6, or if the tourists will, if we arrive in the port, like, if we arrive early in the port to see the places, so the breakfast buffet will open at 5:30. So if you're working in a breakfast, you have to, it's either you will be working like 5 or 5:30 starts. So 5:30 or 5. If you're working in breakfast, you will finish working for the breakfast, for the breakfast you will finish like until 11:30. If you are there 5:30, you will be finished like 11:30. No, 11. No, 5:30 to 10:30. Something like that. If you start working at 6, 6 to 11, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's like 5 hour every shift, morning shift, day, like day for lunch and for the dinner. So if you're working for breakfast, of course you have to wake up early because you got to eat first before you go work for the breakfast, to start your day. Anyway, I'm talking for the restaurant department, the restaurant food and beverage department. So you're gonna have to wake up early, and then of course you wake up early. And guess what? There are really times when you are very, very tired. When we finish like in the dinner time, we finish like 12 in the evening because everything, after we clean up everything, we finish like 12 in the evening. 12, and then of course, you have no day off, remember? So at 12 in the midnight, you have to manage yourself washing your clothes, doing your stuff, call your family, or what's this? Eat, because you're gonna get hungry too. You work so hard. So after you cleaning and everything, you're gonna get hungry. So you eat first. So you have to manage. And sometimes when you are very, very tired, you cannot just go to sleep right away. Sometimes like I can sleep like 3 in the morning, or yes, and then also when we go to the laundry, there's a lot of crew who gonna be washing their clothes. So it's either you're gonna be falling in line until somebody is finished the machine. There's a lot of washing machine in the cruise ship for the employee, but there's also a lot of employee in the cruise ship. You know. So anyway, yeah, and, when you work in the morning breakfast, um, most of the time you will be off in the afternoon, and like if you finish like 12 in the afternoon or 11 in the afternoon or 10:30, you will have the hours off. So you will be going back to work again like 5 in the afternoon. 5 in the afternoon, that's for the dinner. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 10:30. That's the closing of the restaurant in the fine dining or in the buffet. So yes, after the 10:30, you're gonna be cleaning everything. So most of the time you're gonna finish like 12. But anyway, then in that space and that break time we have in the cruise line like maybe 12 to 4, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 4 hours. Or sometimes if we are not that very busy, the supervisors or the people who are giving us the assignment, the schedule, sometimes they would let us, or if the guest will be coming late, would let us come back to work like 6 in the evening. But that is very, very seldom. But most of the time they want us to be in at 5. So when we go out, like if we are out on break and we want to see the outside, we want to see the places, we have to just keep running. You have two choice. You're gonna spend because you are very tired after working breakfast. You're gonna go sleep, or you just, even if you are sleepy, you just forget about being sleepy. Just go run outside and see, take pictures and videos, or see what's in there. Like, so you just, that's all you have, that's your choice. So when you come back, so in other words, if you did not have enough sleep the other night, and then you didn't even sleep also in the morning, in the afternoon with your break time, then you will be tired. Like, imagine 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 hours you will be working in the dining room or in the buffet. So it's a matter of choice, but you know what? It's a kind of worth it because Actually, when on my time, I was really really tired because I always like to try different jobs, or I always like to do something because I don't want to stay um in the restaurant thing. I want to explore more, so maybe it's not gonna be that heavy because I don't know, for some reason in that time I did not feel comfortable being in the retiring. Like, I didn't know anything about it, but I thought, there are people working in the cruise line, in the restaurant, and they are already very old, and still they are in being a waitress or a waiter. But you know what, the waitress and the waiter, they make really good money because they have all the tips, every time they work so hard, and they also make good, better money. And also, yeah, after when we get into that cruise line, most of the Filipinos, we love working in the cruise line. You know that. Now you know that why most of the Filipinos likes to work in the cruise line, because of the salary, good salary, and we will be able to see different places. But guess what? In the here in America also, there are people who are doing that. Like young people, young girls, or young boys. I spoke one of them, and she said she just like it because she just like to see different places. She like to see different places. And that's what happened. That's why they like also to get into the cruise line. But you know what? The cruise line job here, it's still a small salary. It's a small salary compared to be in the USA. But I think they just sacrifice better salary, the better salary compared to the USA, to the cruise line. Because if they went to the cruise line again, they can see different places. You know, they can see different places and without spending anything. What else? Why work in the cruise line? And also in the cruise line, it's very very expensive. I mean, even it's very very tiring. It's tiring in the cruise line, right? Working like 16 hours. We are working 16 hours, but um sometimes they won't. After you work so hard within that day, for one day you will be killing yourself working 16 hours, and most of the times they're not gonna give you overtime. The the um the scheduler, like somebody who will do the schedule, they will make sure that the next day you will only work like 6 hours, just to cover you work so hard yesterday, so today you're gonna have better hours, lesser hours. I don't know how that goes, but I know a lot of friends, they complain because they are already tired. Without they better work the same hours than we have that term. When you are working like hours, and then more than like overtime, and then this like they will just deduct it to your time. We get a call, and we get some people who are complaining about that. So when we work in the cruise line, the cruise ship, as much as possible, they treat us really good. You know, I can't complain. I'm gonna tell you the truth. They give us good food. The food is really good, but sometimes the person, like human, they won't appreciate when we have too much. When we have a lot, we don't appreciate anymore. Like, we want more, better and better and better. If like we would say, no, I hope we have this better food. I mean, let's say a good flavor of this food, and then when we have that good flavor of this food, the next time, like after after a month or in a few weeks, you're gonna want more and more. So that's what happened in the cruise line. Actually, the cruise line is feeding us good. You know, I we were during my time, the food was not my number one thing. Sleeping is my number one thing. Because when you were working in the cruise line, you cannot sleep straight. You know, you all can only sleep like, let's say if you have nothing to do, you're gonna be finished like 12, or sometimes you go back to your cabin um like what's this, like 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to wake up at 5, or if you're working at 5, excuse me, if you're working at 5, so you have to wake up like 4:30 or 4, you know. So in other words, you cannot just sleep straight. Otherwise, if you're gonna go sleep straight, your the supervisor or the people in charge will be calling you in the cabin, hey, and they will ask you, hey, what you waiting? Is it your birthday today? Because it's just you cannot just sleep your life away. Like you cannot have sleep all you want in the cruise line. So it's like the longest. Like if you are breakfast, lunch off, then you're gonna have a good sleep. But that's very very seldom. That's only when the cruise ship is not that, when the guests are not that full. If we don't have enough a lot of guests, then and it's very seldom. It's not gonna happen. And yeah, you're gonna have, but or if you are, oh, the the time when we are at sea, meaning like 3 days in the ocean, there's no port. If we are 3 days in the ocean, you know what it means, meaning we have to work harder, because breakfast, lunch, dinner will be working. Everybody will be working breakfast, lunch, dinner, because all the guests is on board. Because if we are on the port, we are in the port, the guests will be getting out, right? So seeing the places, there's only few guests who gonna stay in the ship and eat, so they can just adjust people working. So a lot of people, they gonna just give um like, hey, this group A, they were already off the last port when we are not busy, so we'll let this other group B to have the off. So yun, ganun lang siya, ano. So that's why you gonna see a lot of workers in the cruise line. They would say like, oh, when I go home, I will never have the alarm clock, because in the cruise line we always have the alarm clock with us, our cell phone. Because if you have no alarm clock in one cabin, there's like four or two of us, and you have different schedules, so you have to be able to wake up on the hours or minutes before you get to work. So when we were when we are in the cruise line, we cannot go sleep like a baby. So when we have the vacation, like mostly the vacation is only like 1 month. Most of the crew, when they will go home, they're on vacation. They're gonna be like, oh great, we're gonna be sleeping like a baby. Because we will miss those time of hours of sleep. Just sleep like a baby. And what else? Why work in the cruise line? What are the other questions? I have a lot of people asking about that. But yeah, work in the cruise line, and yeah, you can see the different places, right? What else? You can see different places. Mm, yeah. So what else? Mm, and also, if in the Philippines, once you get, I know a lot of people, like after they work in the cruise line, you know, the in the cruise line in the cruise ship, you get to be able to the settings, the service are fast and it's better than working in the Philippines, you know. So once after we work in the cruise line, when we go back in the Philippines, mostly you're not gonna be working like 10, $8 to $10 a day. You're gonna have better salary because you know like you have more knowledge to impart. You know, you have for some reason like it is just right. You know, because once you work in the cruise line, you're gonna have a good experience. Like hmm, um, just imagine you're gonna serve like guest like you're gonna have a guest for like for that 5 hours and every table you gonna every area or station you're gonna have to serve like 5 tables, you know. So those what if those most of the time those 5 tables you're gonna have all filled, you know, all those tables are being used by guests. So imagine you have five, so the service are faster. You will figure out it's either you gonna stop serving or you gonna get better, you know. So just imagine how busy it is. So that's why I understand why most it's like compared to the job we have in the Philippines, it's more faster and um, the best experience you can have in the cruise line. And when you work in the what's this in the hotel in the Philippines, it's like very easy for you. When you come back, this is nothing, you know. You're gonna say that, and once you get it, even once you get back in the Philippines, you're gonna have like what's this? You will be a supervisor. You can be a manager, you know, because you know a lot of things you are very familiar of most of the things that is happening like in the restaurant or in the front desk or in the housekeeping, you know. But still those people like if they have family after they work in the cruise line, like you know what the bad thing about it, we there's like 80% 80% of Filipinos, or even if not Filipinos, a lot, if 80% of the crew working in the cruise line, it's either they will be having another man or woman in the cruise, or so meaning you know they're gonna have to break up with their family or their boyfriends or girlfriends back home, you know. So most of the good, really, I can tell like there are I know some people that these just stop working in the cruise line because when they come home in the Philippines they can get a job more than the minimum wage, like they're gonna be a supervisor or manager. So just stay there because they have family and they don't want to. Most of the family, really, most of the family is not in good terms. Especially, just imagine 9 months or 8 months away from the family, you know. And in the you know in the cruise ship also, it takes a lot of prayers and it takes a word no. no to girlfriend and boyfriends, no to drinking, or no to just, you just need to know, right? Like, you know what, these people in the cruise line, these people mostly they do a favor for you because they want something from you. They want something one day. So it's just, you know, but after all, if you don't, if you know how to say no, and if you know when not to do, and not, the do's and don't, then you will be okay. That's why if you know if you are if you are working in the cruise line, this is the things that you should remember too. If you're working in the cruise line, never, like, maybe there's only one, if the person is not married in the cruise line. If the person is not married, that person must have a girlfriend or boyfriend back home. Just imagine that. So you don't really like you have your boyfriend and girlfriends there, because one day, if this person will go home for vacation, one day they're gonna get married to the boyfriend or girlfriend in back home. So what will happen? Most of the crew, they get pregnant. They get pregnant, and because they trusted the person in the ship, I mean, there's no bad thing about trusting, but you always have to realize, hey, there's always two story in the situation, like, because most of the boys, like, we'll just say, like, for the boys, most of the boys, they would say, oh, we are not in good terms, like, oh, I have no wife or girlfriend. But if you're gonna know, hey, I know you have, because you can, the only way to find out if the person is married is you can go to the human resource department and ask, you know so once you know that, okay, let's say you know that, but there are boys, they would say, oh no, we are not in good terms with my wife, and but then after 9 months later, when you go back home, they have to go back to their family, right? And you, being so naive, like, ignorant, or I don't know how do you call it, then you're gonna suffer, like a lot of crews, they just get pregnant, because they are, the boys or the girls are very nice, and then what happened, they just get pregnant, and then there's no more, after they have the baby, the guy, or the guy, mostly, let's say the guy will just don't contact them anymore. Yeah, because the truth is, they have family. They are just one of those liars. So that's one of those things. Actually, before we joined the ship, the hiring agency was already telling us that, hey, um, girls, when you go, when you are in the, when you, as soon as you sign in, always remember that, it's not new. We have a lot of crew. There is, like, in the Philippines, one batch of the crew who sign on. They are one batch. All of them got pregnant. That's how crazy it is in the cruise line. Just imagine that. So everybody just get pregnant, and you know what it means. Of course, the boys who you were with, they have family, so they have to choose their family, and just forget. And imagine, it's not only one city. You're not living in one city. You will be living different country, different cities. So it's gonna be like it will be like hit and run in the cruise line. So you better make sure that you just take care of yourself. Nobody will take care of yourself but you. Yes. So you better take care of yourself, because There is this one guy, we he was our friend. He been there for a long time, and he was telling us, you know what, girls, as soon as as soon as there is new sign on in the cruise line, in the ship, the people, mostly the boys in the cruise line, they gonna be getting like, oh, this not this name, I want this name, I will get this, I will get this, in other words, they're like, the it's like they're it's just a way of life, you know it's just a way of life, but still it's up to you if you want to be a victim, because you will never be because you cannot just, if they gonna say, if you said that, oh, I'm gonna have a hard time if I don't say yes, if I'm not gonna allow or follow. No, it's wrong, because you always have the right to say no, you always have the right to protect yourself, because in the cruise line you will always have the justice, like, you can always complain, and after all, that's yourself, you know don't if you are like a child that they can just threat you, then they can do it to you. But you know what, we can, because like, hey, we have also another experience, like when I was in the cruise line. I we get one waitress. She was like, she and her husband was on board on that time. Just imagine. So she and her husband was on board in that time, and she was going out with this supervisor, you know, and oh my, it's terrible. She been sleeping with him, and he was complaining, like, in the human resource. She was complaining about, this guy is harassing me. But guess what? Because of the complaint, it will go to the staff captain, and it will be investigated. Everything will be investigated according to evidence. So security is involved now. So in the security check, the telephone, the in and out call, and also the CCTV. We get camera outside, like, even in the hall, going in the hallway. Sorry, not in the hall, in the hallway. Passing through in our cabin, there is always a camera, so they can always see you, what cabin you are going to, and what cabin are you supposed to go. You know. So, oh, gang, she is a mess. Shame on her. She was complaining about this man, that she's being harassed, but the truth is, she is the one who flirt herself. And I feel so sorry for, I mean, both of them. I think both of them, because they said the husband also was doing like that. Like, I don't know, it could be an evil spirit. I don't know. Because why? Because, in some others also was telling me, like, they were working in land base. They said also that the people also who work in land base, they are also doing the same thing. They gonna be the Of course, like, oh, especially the land base, like, going to Dubai or Saudi Arabia, Filipino going to Dubai or going to Saudi Arabia or Singapore. They gonna have Bahrain, wherever, land based, they can have like 2 years or 3 years contract. So just imagine, 3 years or 2 years contract. So they're gonna have girlfriends and boyfriends there in the land base. But you know what? It still depends on you. Again, it still depends on you. So that's why it makes sense. Sometimes, you should. They said that most of the people working abroad, they're gonna make better money, but they're gonna um ruin the family, because it's either the family in the Philippines is doing bad, or the family abroad, or the the person working abroad is doing the bad things. Yep. But anyway, we are way too far now. We are way too far to where we're supposed to. Yeah, that's one of those things, you know. Um, yeah, why we still, but see, after, like, after I get some friends, like, after once they get pregnant in the cruise ship, they have, they will be sent off by the human resource, the manager. They have to, like, before, I think before 5 months, they have to go home, but the cruise line will pay for like 2 months salary. Oh yeah, they get good benefits, but it's crazy. But I don't say that it's a good benefit. But like, yeah, they gonna get money from the cruise line when they get pregnant, and it's not their, even if it's not their husband, the cruise line will just take care of them, just send them home and pay them like 2 months of their salary. Give it, they will get 2 months of salary, and yeah, they can come back after they give birth. Of course, we have to come back. They have to come back because like, there's no father, and the father is very responsible. They just want to sleep and sleep and sleep and make babies, and they don't even. There are people like they just support, but most of them they don't anymore. They cannot support because they have family that they have to support. It is just being so evil and being selfish. It's just being selfish, them trying to make the woman pregnant and just leave them, you know. It's one of those things. Oh, just come back again and make some money. What else? Yeah, why we got to, in the cruise line, they would really take care of us as much as possible. Um, I can't complain much. Like, there's at first I was like, you don't know anything what is going on, and if you get promotions, they would think that, oh, this girl, she has a promotion, good promotion, faster promotion. She must have somebody in there, like, like somebody who's trying to do better because, like being a girlfriend and boyfriend, like officers. Yeah, and it will make you cry, like me. At first, I didn't know anything. Like, I know that in the cruise line, you should not be able to have boyfriends and girlfriends because, you will just end up getting pregnant and without having any support from the boyfriend, because you cannot really find a husband in the cruise line. It's like 99%, because you know what? These people, as soon when they get into the cruise line, it's either they are married or they already have the fiance or they are getting ready to get married. So you cannot really, just like me, when I get into the cruise line, I already have a boyfriend. My husband was my boyfriend that time. So I'm just, I'm not available. So that's just one of those things that when you were on the cruise line, you cannot just say like, hey, he said he's single, so we just gonna have be boyfriends and girlfriends. No, because oh my gosh, s- when we say, especially if they are not born again, man, if they're not born again, even the born again Christian, they would sometimes backslide, but especially if they're not born again, they are still following the last of this world. So they're gonna make good, good words that you just can't. Like, we should know better. We should know better. Like, we should, like, what, like, you should know better why these people are, there's no such thing as free. Like, most of us, we like free, but we should always remember, like in the cruise line, why they're doing this for me? He or she must want something, not unless you are just girlfriends, just friends. Like in the cruise line, when I was working in the cruise line, the first who was that? No, in the first contract, we only have 4 months, so nobody gets pregnant. And the second contract, that's the time that everybody gets pregnant. Like two of them, because you know, it's just sad. It's just different. Like sometimes, it's really hard. Like be careful of who you fall in love with, and always pray, because if you're gonna fall in love, if you don't we don't that's what most of the time, that's what happened. If we don't fall in love, we don't pray, it's so easy to fall in love. Like especially if the person is really very nice, you're gonna fall in love, and you just gonna forget, you just gonna believe what the lie ahead, what the lie he was saying. I know a lot of friends that, you know you just, and then the next contract, next, another friend again, another boyfriend, another girlfriend, because another lie. So yeah, um, even the cruise line job is like that, or the situation. Everybody still likes to go back in the cruise line. The major thing that you cannot go back in the cruise line anymore, like the cruise line will have you blocked in the list, is when you are punching each other, like you are fighting is a big no in the cruise line. Like we got this situation, like we were cleaning after dinner, we were cleaning, and these two people, there's two Filipinos. Yeah, there are two Filipinos. I think they're fighting about the girlfriends, I think they like both the same girls. I think it's something like that. And they rumble, like they were punching each other. And you know what, the next day they went home. I mean, automatic. If we are on the port, but if we are at sea, then you're gonna have a little for few days until we're gonna be on the port. But if we are in the port the next day, if like if you are fighting, like hurting each other, but if you are just talking, you will only be called to the, if there's no threat, then you will be just sent to the staff captain, and be settled. But if you are really hurting each other, if there is an evidence that you're hurting each other, or it is shown in the camera that you're hurting each other, you have no space in the cruise line. You will be sent off automatic, like like the next day, like tonight you were fighting, tomorrow morning you will go home, you will automatically be signed off, and you cannot come back anymore in the cruise line. I mean, in that certain cruise line where you were working, I was working in the Norwegian cruise line. I mean, it was just fair, that policy they have. It's just fair because they cannot just, if a violent person will be on board, they cannot just give a chance. They have passengers, and there's a lot of passengers, and they cannot just give a chance for their passengers to be hurt, or it's all these passengers, it's their, the cruise line they have them on their shoulders, like whatever will happen, so that is just fair that when somebody is doing violent, action, they will be sent off. And yeah, what else? Yeah, harassment. Actually, if there is like words harassment, yeah, actually, if you say bad words, like uh, uh it's a threat, like the words is violate a very violation, like saying something about killing or stab you or something. That's a no. You're gonna go home also with that words, but bad words that you're gonna say, and also after you um and also absence, like late. If you're always late, like after 7 late, you're gonna have a warning, and then 7 late, like in your schedule, you're supposed to be there at 5, but then you always come like 5:30. Oh no, you're gonna be late. So after few lates, like I think 4, I am not sure because I was also been late in the I was also been late, because I was so tired. I sleep too much. I turned off my alarm clock, when I have always 3 alarm, first alarm, oh turn off, second alarm, oh turn off, third alarm, dang, I forgot I still turned it off. Oh my, the fourth alarm was the cabin telephone supervisor is calling, hey, is it what you're waiting? December? Are you waiting for Christmas? Yeah, if you're gonna have like I think for warning first, but I don't think so. The late, I think they would consider, like it depends, really. For but there are people who were always late. They were sent off. Like the captain really is really on a bad mode on that time, so they just send them home. But mostly, I have a friend. She's always late. I mean, on there were times that me and her was late because I sleep in her cabin. She after lunch she said, "Let's go. We will just sleep together in our cabin because we only have like in my cabin because she we only have like we work the same hour." So she was always late. I didn't put it in my mind. She was always late. So she invited me to sleep with her in her cabin. Dang. And yes, it's true. We were ta-da! Tiara. Ouch. Yes, it's true. We were late. So she was late. I was late because we turned off our alarm clock. So that's what happened. Yeah, but she was not until now she's still working. Like everybody know her that she's always late. And she's been always there, like I think every contract she always go to the staff captain and just talk to them why you're always late, and I think they will just accept because it is really very tiring, if um especially if we are working very late, and tired. But I think we're gonna look the camera. We're gonna also look the camera. Why you're late? What time did you go home? Go back to your cabin, or who was with you, or where you were? What cabin you were? You know, because I think if you are caught in the another cabin and you are late, like sleeping with another man or another woman, I think we gonna. I think one of those things that you will be investigated and you're gonna be sent off or something. Or if there is somebody who gonna complain that you are the boyfriend or the girlfriend of the husband or the wife on board, then you're gonna be sent off. Yeah. I remember even I get a classmate in college after we graduate. She was her she has a very bad boyfriend because her boyfriend just want her to go work in the cruise line, and he must be thinking that working if she work in the cruise line she gonna get money from her. So anyway, my classmate was like she just heard it like if we were working in the cruise line in the ship, we cannot say no, like the people will just will harass us, the new workers. But I did not believe it. And sure enough, it's just there is justice in the cruise line. Like you just work, do your things, and make sure that you don't violate. There are really people. There are really in the cruise line there are really very bad people, like crazy. Like we don't use that word, but they are really bad and mean. Like at one time, at first contract, I'm just like a puppy. I don't know anything. So as much as possible, I work so hard. I just work and I don't complain nothing because I don't know anything about anything, right? So I'm just new. Oh, and second in my second contract, I get this. There is this one citizen, like he is in the like different country, but these people, this kind of people, they would always like they would think that if you are very nice, they would just think that you are so nice and you are not harmful, so they will just treat you like you are smaller than them. And guess what, these kind of people, they really thought that because I am very humble, like I don't fight as much as possible. But on that time, like I am very, very tired, and on that time, they just lie. I know I am doing the right thing, and they just lie. He just lie. So he is trying to make me bad, and he lie, and I know they lie. So I mean, I was just so I was that was I cannot forget. I was so mean also trying to. Don't you know you're just new here, so you don't know anything. And like I, on that time, because I'm tired also on that time. I was so tired after my night shift. Like after working at night, I went for cleaning my clothes and everything, and then he just lie, trying to, you know, trying to make me like a liar too. But I did not. I'm doing the right thing finally, and I know that this person, there are this kind of people, like this tribe, will see these people in this certain country, that's they always act like they are the boss. They always act like they are the boss. There's everybody is a worker in the cruise line, in the cruise ship, because even if the boss, they have to work. Even if the captain, maybe the captain will just sit around and just approve and check everything. Still, he get a job because he would always go around and check everything, you know. But everybody, we have one boss, the owner of the cruise line or the guest. That's our boss. But these certain people in this country, like we know mostly, but I think everybody, there's a lot of people, kind of people, that they like to be the boss, even if they're not. They don't realize that when we were working in the company, everybody is a worker, right? So we have to work because we are in that thing, in that company, in that, like in the cruise line. So, well, what else that I have? Do you have any questions that I can tell? Hmm. I think that's all for that. If you get any questions or mm, let me see, because I get some people who are asking. So I found out, like, because they know that I was working in the cruise line, so we were like suggesting, like, hey, would you like to tell us about that, this and that? So that's why I come up with this, like, hey, why not? I'm just gonna share based on my experience. Um, mm, hey, thank you for the 3 million in the house. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We have, I know, Mommy Dishang is still driving, and well, I think this is just for this live stream. That's it. Why we work so hard in the cruise line, despite of everything in the cruise line, like there is good things and bad things, but we as a Filipinos, it's really a good chance. Like once we are working in the cruise line, we can save. In the Philippines, if we were in the cruise, we don't have to pay anything except for our personal. And if you like shopping, of course, I mean, you can. How could you save if you keep on shopping? But when working in the cruise line, um, as long as you have, as long as you are not very picky, or what's this? You always save money. You can really save. But there are really people who likes to shop because they would say that, oh, I'm working because that's why I'm working because I want to um make myself like I want to buy. I mean, I'm working because I want to have money. Now that I'm working, I get salary. Now I can buy it for myself. I can pamper myself. Sorry. So that's what they're saying. But actually, as we as Filipinos, a lot. But no, I cannot say that all Filipinos, because there's a lot of Filipinos also always look up. I look always try to provide good things for themselves, so they cannot save anymore, because they spend their money shopping, because especially we were on the, like, in Egypt, or in, like, somewhere outside the country, different places. So once we get in there, they would thought that, oh, I need to buy this thing because I'm in this thing. But on my side, I was only buying the magnet in the thing, because I was like, I did not like shopping. I mean, I might like, but I did not like spending. So, but anyway, yeah, working in the cruise line is the better. It's really good when you want to save. In the cruise line, you can everything, the food, the see, if we are working in land base, or like in the Philippines, you have to spend for your food, you have to spend for your apartment, you have to spend for your transportation. But in the cruise line, you don't have to travel, because you're just gonna walk, going to your job or work. There's no traffic, you know. So the food is already prepared. You don't have to cook for your food. The food is ready. All you have to do is fix yourselves and bring yourself to the kitchen, to the dining area, and eat. You don't have to clean your dishes, because somebody will be cleaning your dishes. All you have to do is put your plates in the dishwashing area, and somebody will wash it for you. And also, see, all you have to do is wake up and fix yourselves, make it ready for work, and then um, that's it. Make yourself ready for work, and then um, after you make ready yourself for work, you eat. And the food was delicious. You have a variety of food to choose, but of course, you're gonna see, like, like, for imagine for 9 months, they gonna the kitchen people, they gonna try to change the menu, right? Different food every week. But I think because we are staying on the same, like, in the ship, right? And we always smell the food and everything, so we would think like we don't like the food anymore. We're not, in other words, we're not that hungry, you know. If we are hungry, the food is everything was good. But because we have everything we can eat, we have a good food, and we always smell it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, everything is just there. So we don't really get hungry, and we would just that's the time that we just want like dried fish, like Filipino food. But you know what? In the cruise line, they would try to they would try to serve the best food. In the cruise line, we get like Indonesian, India, people from Indonesia, people from India, people from Croatia, Philippines. Very little in America, like very little in America, like maybe 3%. And Greek, Japan, and we get also Chinese. But you know what? The cruise line would try to cook, or we get also from Nigeria, Colombia, we get from Peru. But they would try to cook the food according to the nationality we have in the in the cruise. Excuse me. Like there are times like once a month or the next month, they're gonna have like one night Asian cuisine, like Team Asian. So we're gonna have lechon, we have sushi, we're gonna have noodles, and yeah, like food in the Asian food. Or if they're gonna say like sometimes they're gonna come up with like Indonesian food or food from India or um what's this food from Italy. Because we are all or yeah, we get also Russian. No, I did not really. There are we get Russian worker co-worker in the cruise line, but we don't specifically serve the Russian food. What else? You know what? That's one of those things. Like if even the a lot of Filipinos, like a lot of people would complain. Like not only Filipinos, there's a lot of people from different country. They would complain like, oh, working in the cruise line, like very tired. You know what? This is funny because we get this from Nigeria. This man from Nigeria, and we call I forgot his name, but like there's somebody who is very mad, like he's very tired, he don't want to do the job anymore, like very lazy, showing the laziness. And then one of this person from Nigeria, he said, hey man, you nobody like he was talking like he was putting the plate in the table, like we are already cleaning the table, and so like he was talking like, no, I love my job. Nobody forced me to come here. It's my will to come here and work. So nobody forced me. I love my job. It's like it's like the opposite. In other words, like no, you know what? You don't have the space, or you don't have the right. It's like it's not the passenger's fault, it's not the co-worker's fault, it's not everybody's fault when you are working in the cruise line, it's not everybody's fault when you are tired. Everybody's tired, there's just no space for us to complain because everybody's working, everybody has the job that needs to be done, and nobody forced us to go on the cruise line, to work in a cruise ship. We want to go there because of the salary, opportunities, we can have. So, yun, you cannot, complain much, just be thankful. Like me, I was like, oh yeah, when I was one of why we still want to work in the cruise line. The second contract I had in the cruise line. I mean, like 1 week before I signed off, 1 week before my signed off, I was I because my body maybe finally give up or like tired because Oh my, the first contract, like in a few days, I'm gonna eat breakfast. But you know what? After those few days or weeks, when I was working in the cruise line, it's very seldom for me to eat lunch, or I always skip the meal. A lot of times I will only eat like once or twice. And imagine, because I did not, as soon as we get out, I did not like to fall in line. As soon as I get out, I thought I am so tired, and I just want to go back to my cabin and sleep. So that's what I've been doing. So finally, in the second contract, after 8 months working, I mean, I was like I'm like having a flu. Like I have colds, I have fever, I have cough. Like one time, they were just a lot of people were just saying that I am doing a drama. Because you know what? In the cruise line, also, you cannot just say that you are sick, even if you have even if you are having a fever. As long as you can still work, even if you have fever, you are still gonna be working. So hi sis, mega shout out, Analu Coffee Lovers. Thank you for dropping by. Please don't forget sa tamsak ni host. Salamat po. Ay, Bisaya ang ka. Thank you. She's a Bisaya, so why I'm speaking English or Tagalog? You know, Analu Coffee Lovers is also I am in the Philippines. We have Tagalog and Bisaya, so she's a Visaya. I just know that because I was watching her when she was doing she's making burger, and then I realized, dang, how in Philippines you can tell if the Bisaya is saying Tagalog. So sus Bisayang dako, Bisaya jud host. Salamat ha, Nalo Coffee. Salamat sis ha sa imong pag-anhi. Nagkuan ako diri ay I'm just talking like it's so easy, man. Good. It's so easy to do it in live stream and just record it. Then, you're gonna upload stuff, the video, and it takes me like 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours to upload the video. So I thought this one would be much faster. Faster. Salamat din ho sa always support. Oo, salamat. Actually, kasi basta nakikita kita sa bahay ko, nagpupunta din ako kasi 'di ba? That's what we like. I mean, we appreciate natin yung support sa isa't isa. Kaya yun, bisitahin lang. Kung pag hindi ako nakabisita, tapos nakabisita ka na sa akin, remind mo ako, uy, sana nag-ano ka din, sana punta. Pero as much as possible, nagbibisita din ako sa mga nagbisita sa akin. Magbigay ng candy. Oo nga buti na lang kita-kita. Kita-kita. Oo, hindi din ako nag-expect, hindi nga din ako nag-invite ng mga Salamat ha. Oo, kasi pag kinalimbang, alam mo ba, pag kinalimbang, yun ang mangyayari. Or pag mag-scroll down, minsan ang dami kaya nating nakikita, pero minsan kasi tao lang din tayo, di ba? Pag hindi naman nakikita natin sa bahay, hindi na lang, yung like, pag lagi akong pumupunta, tapos hindi man lang pumunta or kahit nag-sign ng hello or nag-thumbs up or ganun sa bahay ko, hindi na ako pupunta doon. 'Di ba? Maalala mo kasi yung mga tao yung nagpupunta palagi. Kaya yun, yung kahit hindi palagi pero there are times na nag-aano talaga sila. Kasi yun din ang gusto kong gawin. Yung na-appreciate ko din kasi. Kaya ganun din kasi ako na-appreciate ko yung mga taong kahit sobrang busy, alam ko busy lalo ka na nagtatrabaho. Pero may time din kahit konti lang na, uy, kumusta, ganun ba? Kaya yan, pag uy, nandito kaya ako, nabi ako diri sa USA, Analo Coffee Lovers. So, made in USA, mukhang bisita. Wait na. Ingon sila kataas-taas, mas maano daw ang oras from USA. I don't know if it's true, but ano lang, ako ra nang ko anan good, pero ako kahibaw. Pero mao jud na akong ganahan. Kay ganahan sad ko kung bisitahon ko mo nang ano, pupunta din ako kahit kahit sandali lang silang bumisita, pupunta din ako kasi na-appreciate ko. Yun. Nag-ano lang ko, sana ay, ang sarap ng ano no, masarap yung analog coffee lovers. Oo nga eh, buti na lang kita-kita. Masarap yung ano, yung burger na may tomato, para McDonald's. Masarap pa rin yung ano, yung sa McDonald's, ano kaya yun, patty na yun, marami na siyang flour. Masarap yung burger natin kung pure meat. Salamat sa 4 million in the house. Salamat sa patamsak. Salamat ha. Salamat analog coffee lovers. Now ay no Bisaya banday ka. Yep. Paano? Mag-ano lang ako, mag-proceed na lang ko ha. Mag-proceed lang ako, analog coffee lovers. Thank you so much. So thank you, Weekly Bakes. Thank you, Mami Dishang Anandoy. Thank you, sis ha, analog coffee lovers. May kabisaya din. Proceed lang ko, pahangtod mahumaning 2 ka oras. Yun, hala. Baka makipag-hunting sabi. Ano na lang, kailangan ko na lang ng mga 35 minutes na lang. Kaya ubusin ko na. Yun, kaya doon sa cruise ship, balik tayo doon. Bakit? Why everybody likes to work in the cruise line? Because, in the cruise line, in the cruise line, you cannot just say that you are sick. As long as you can still get up and walk and do something, they will always make you work. Salamat ha, Analo Lovers Cafe. Salamat, Day. Ay, sis or Bisaya. Salamat, Day. Day na lang. Okay. Wala, hindi ako nag-imbitar din. Hindi kasi ako nag-imbita ng ano. Salamat. Appreciate you so much. Yeah. In the cruise line, you cannot just say that, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm tired, I have headache, I have stomach ache, so I don't want to work. No, you cannot do that. So if you're gonna go to the doctor, the doctor would always think that you are doing a drama. Like a lot of Filipinos, like, the gas GI, they called it GI for like, it's the stomach thing that you are like, I think that's acid or something. We get a lot of gas, like it has something to do with the food. Like if the food has the bacteria, the food is not stored properly, then when the guests eat it or somebody eat it, it's not, their stomach will be painful or they're gonna throw up. So that's what they call GI. And that GI case is very, very, like they take care of it, like it's heads up to everybody, like in the cruise line, because the cruise line cannot afford, don't want to afford the guests who gonna have this GI, once somebody is throwing up or sick because of this, this related to this GI, somebody like a guest or a person will be put in the hospital, like in the isolation room, like he gets special service, and also like just stay in the room until he or she is healed. And also if it is the guest who get the GI, the cruise line will give the guest the free cruise, and also the guests will be paid for something. So that's why the cruise line doesn't allow. The cruise line would always make everything clean. Like we, the crew, the workers, we always sanitize everything, and we make sure also that when we touch the food, it's clean, or always clean, and also the places we always sanitize, because for the bacteria, or the food, it has to be stored in the right temperature in the right place, because once the temperature, but in for the Filipinos, we don't really, just imagine, there are a lot of us in the Philippines, we don't have refrigerator like ordinary, but I'm not saying that all of us. There's a lot of Filipinos also they are well off, so they have their own. But imagine for us, like, all we are poor. We call it poor. We are poor, like we were going without no refrigerator in the mountains. So imagine when we cook pork, we just leave the pork out, you know and we don't put it in the refrigerator. We The next day, when before we eat it, we just reheat the pork and eat it. So in other words, Filipinos, we don't really get sick right away, like quick. So a lot of Filipino crew, like Filipino workers, you know what, they will be drinking in the night, drinking a lot of beer, a lot of drinks, and the next day or in the night, they will be throwing up, or they have the headache. When once those symptoms, when they go to the hospital, or report it to the doctor, the hospital will give you. That's the most of the Filipinos. That's the time that we're gonna have a break. But I never tried it, but that's a lot of Filipinos. They don't have the GI, or that GI thing, the bacteria. They were just hungover and get drunk, but they were having an off. That's their way of having an off. It's not all Filipinos, but a lot of Asians. They're saying that because it's when they say throwing up or having a headache or stomach pain, the the doctor will just put them straight to the isolation room to threat them, right, because they cannot let anybody be in public or in the areas where there's a lot of guests. They cannot let everybody contaminate the guest. So that's it. Yeah, on my time, I was like in the second contract, I was really really sick. And they were like, "Oh, I'm Rose is just making a drama, like she don't want to work anymore." But I did try to work, but like I will just fall, like I have no more strength to work, because I know one of why I was like that. I was really sick because just imagine, for I don't have enough sleep, or if I am so tired, but I'm very skinny. I just prefer to go sleep and sleep and sleep, because I feel like I'm so tired and I need more sleep. So that's it. I go to sleep, and I don't eat. So I just eat, sleep, and do not eat. So that's one, like, but still we like to what's this, but still we like to go back in the cruise line even if we work so hard. It's because of the salary, and what's it's because of the good benefits while working in the cruise line. Like, when we were working in the cruise line, and if I think there is like something like insurance that we could our beneficiaries can get, if ever something will happen, you know but in we know that we cannot get those insurance in the Philippines. And also we have good social security. We have a good social security contribution when we were working in the cruise line, and we just make good money compared when we were still working in the Philippines. And also we could save if we want to go, like, me when I was really planning to work in the cruise line, and hopefully one day. I never thought of being in the USA. I always like thought of going like in Canada or in like Australia or England or New Zealand or somewhere that is easier for me to go like job wise, you know. So I thought being in the cruise line was a stepping stone, you know, to save some money and then later on go work or migrate somewhere that we could earn better money, you know. Um what else? Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's one of those things that most of Filipinos, one of the major reasons. What else? I know there's more ways that hmm, hmm, what else? Yeah, you know what? In when I was working in the cruise line, this is the time that I also experienced the snow. In that video, in that pictures that I have in my thumbnails, I had it on my um I had that picture when there was a snow, the first snow in Istanbul. So we were in Istanbul, Turkey that time, and we get we get to experience the snow, and also, you know what? We visited different neat places. Like, yeah, on the first time we had that we are having it like the itinerary of the ship that I was working. The itinerary of the ship that I was working was Mediterranean, and I get to experience different experience like the hard times, when working. Like, but you know what? Working in the cruise line also will is hard. Like it's difficult, but it's it's not that bad when you really like to work for your family, because most of the Filipinos, most of us, we love our family. Family is everything, Like me, when I was working in the cruise line, everything will just for my family. I want to do this and that because I want to support my family. I want to help my parents send my younger sister to college, you know, because I know how difficult it is. I know it's not easy to send students to college. I saw the hard work of my parents. They never surrender, and my parents is just really nice people. They never complain. All they work so hard because they want us to finish college, or they want us to be educated, and then one day when we get married, we don't have to just let our husband work. We get to work, we can get a job, we can help our husband. Like my mom didn't find a job, but she took care of every one of us, and she sell whatever she can sell, and she works so hard. So she's really working so hard. But for a lot of people who are also blind, they won't see that. But I saw how hard. Even my mom doesn't have a job, but she works so hard. she make money for us, and take care of us. That's why we as Filipinos, we so, especially a lot when we grow up, when we grow poor, we're gonna see how hard it is to make money. We see how our parents work. So one day when we get a job, that's what the first goal, or the first objective, or the first goal that we want to do is to help our parents. That's always like, oh, as once I finish my college, or once I, you know the first thing that we gonna come back is for my our parents, for our family. So that's it. Yeah, when we were, yeah, are we going hunting? No. Oh shucks. Oh my gosh. I was talking. Rina in London, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. And thank you so much for dropping by. If you are not, we are not connected yet, please connect and leave your bakas, and I will be following you. I will do the same. Wow, it's nice to have somebody from London. This is from the United States. Wow. Yeah, anyway, yun. It's really one of those reasons, like Filipinos always saw, like, not, there's a lot of Filipinos who are well off, so they really just don't like to work so hard. But for us, like, we were going poor, like, we work so hard. So working in the cruise line is just nothing. Like, it's worth it. It's not nothing. Like, it's worth it. There's you cannot I cannot I won't complain much. Like, yes, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm tired," but you know what? It's better. It's better salary. It's better benefits. It's better, yeah, better salary, better benefits. Savings, you could save, really. Experience, you could, really a good experience. Like, in the cruise line, a lot of opportunity you can have. Like, you know, you are free. You are free to apply for, like, cruise training. You don't have if you don't you as soon as you get into the cruise line, you don't have to stay there, like, where you are. You can always, try those different jobs, have it trained, and later on, if you like it, one day, if there is an open vacant position in that certain job, you will be the you are prioritized. They will give you the priority. You are the first one they can hire. So I enjoyed working in the cruise line. Actually, I was like, though it's just bad because you cannot the overtime is already paid. So when you are working more than the hours, they will just deduct it the next day. They're not gonna pay you anything because in the contract, all our overtime is already paid. Because I believe because the minimum hours would be only like 8 hours, right? Minimum work hours is only 8 hours. But then in the cruise line, we have to work for 10 hours a day, at least 10 hours a day. But there are a lot of times that we gonna be working more than 10 hours. I have a lot of times I've been working 16 hours, 15 hours, especially when I do have the cross training because I like to explore. I like to know a lot. Like, you know what? I finished the hotel and restaurant management, and for me, how could I manage something that I don't know? That's why, it's just nice to know different jobs, different works inside, like different position in the hotel industry. So at least I know I can relate. I cannot just say, like, there are times it's bad enough when you don't know anything about the job and you are saying something. So once you know something about this job, um you can relate, or you will be able to at least get a little better judgment or a little better decision because you know exactly what is going on. Like, it's not gonna be 100%, but you know a little bit of what is going on. So you can relate. You can, instead of like making them just, like, work so hard and blame it on them because they make a mistakes. And you know what? While when you were like when I was in the housekeeping, I was working in when I had my on the job training. Hey, thank you example, 6 million in the house. When I have my on the job training in the housekeeping, I know, I experienced the job, and I know how hard work we have to do. Cleaning the, what's this, cleaning the rooms, I mean, clean up. So when I was working in the front desk, I'm just, when I have like, when I was working there, when I have like co-workers who just gonna say something or just judge, think that these people are so lazy or they're not doing the right thing like that, and just get mad easily, I would suggest, like, you know what, I've been there. I'm not that person anymore who gonna be like them. Like, I cannot, because I know how hard it is to do the job. Like, I mean, we have to do it. Somebody has to do it, right? But I know how it feels, and how I know how much time it has to take to clean, or how much the time it has to take to finish the job. So in other words, it's really a great opportunity for us. Thank you, Sisa. Salamat, Sisa, Analo Coffee Lovers. It's a great opportunity for us to know the different jobs, like farming. You know what? Um, like, oh, sorry, white farming. We are in the cruise line, right? Like in the kitchen. But I never tried. Though I never tried, but I mean, I never tried to change my position. But I have tried. Like, they let me do this and that, and I know how hard it is. The cleaning in the kitchen. The preparation of the food, the fast we should do it. So I know how it takes, what it takes. Time, energy. So I have a little bit, so I can understand better than if you don't know anything. If we don't know anything about the job, and example, we are the manager and we get something going on, we just, like, lapses or something, automatically we will automatically get mad, and we don't even know what is going on. But if we know the job and we are the manager, or we are the head, we can relate, and we can, like, at least balance, or at least we can imagine, or we can get a little bit of it, what is going on, because I know how that job should be done. Like, oh, you should not be finishing that time, because I know, like, oh, I know that there it's not gonna be perfect, because I know I've been there. I have been doing this exact job before. So yeah, that's one of those things. So I just remember my teacher when I was in college. He was like, he want us to experience, because you cannot be a good manager without experiencing anything. Like, you cannot just go straight being a manager, and you just gonna be telling us do this and do that. You don't even know what is that job. So my teacher was he already passed away. My teacher was really right. I cannot be successful if I'm not gonna be going through with different stages or difficulties. There are still people, but still they gonna handle things differently if you don't know anything. Yes, we could study. I could be a manager, right? Because there are just job responsibilities. We got the checklist of what to do, but it's still different, because you cannot relate, and you cannot be a better one to suggest, or it's not that effective when you don't know anything. You cannot relate. So the best thing is, if you know something, if you are there, if you've been there, you know something, if you've been doing that before, you can relate. So, like, um it helps you do it helps you to what's this, to get a better gave a better judgment, or gave a better suggestion. You cannot suggest anything that you don't know, right? You cannot. So that's one of those things. And also, yeah, if that's those are major reasons. Sorry, those are the major reasons why we still, despite of being very really tired working in the cruise line, still money wise is better, salary wise is better. But my husband said that we're not going for hunting, so I believe I'm just, mm, yeah, our we once we know the job, or we know the job that has to be done. Once we experience that, we are we could be a better judge, or we could be a better worker, or we could be a better supervisor, because you know what it takes to finish the job. So yeah, in the cruise line, if me and my husband did not get married, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 100% sure that I will still be working in the cruise line right now. But of course, after we get married, my husband doesn't want me to go back anymore, and I agree with him. Like, it takes husband and wife, um it takes two to decide. It's not only one. It should be two to decide. So I did not come back. But if I was not married, I'll just this even the married Filipinos or married others, they still, if that's the only source of money they're gonna make, still they're gonna go back, even if they have already two kids or one kid, they still gonna come back. Like, I have a friend, um her husband is a supervisor, like a manager or something in the it's a good company. They get a good salary. They get all these cars and um house and everything, but still she went back to the work in the cruise line because it's just different. If you want to save something, go back to the cruise line. That's just the way it is. And actually, working in the cruise line, you get really a lot of opportunities. It's not like yes, it's okay. Let me ask you this: do you want to work so hard in the Philippines, 8 hours or sometimes 10 hours, and sometimes you are just paid minimum wage, or just for like eight hours or 10 hours for only like $8 or $10 US dollars? So I would, and then you have to pay everything. You have to pay for your apartment if you're not from that city, because this $8 to $10 per 8 hours, they are paying it like in the city, in the big city, like in Cebu or in Manila. So, and most of us, like, you're in the city, so you have to be renting. So you have to pay for your $8, $10. You have to pay for rent, for your food, plus the traffic. So while in the cruise line, traffic is nothing. The food is ready. There's no traffic. You can be anywhere, like wherever that the itinerary of the ship that you are in. Good food. It's really good food, like international food. You're gonna see different, the experience, like, awesome. And you can explore to different department. Like, you can just be trained, as long as you have no attitude. The important is you have a very good working attitude. You have a very good work attitude, or you have very good attitude. Just be humble, just be willing to learn. Me personally, I always like to learn. I am very much willing to be trained always, because at least it's a big difference if you know something or if you really don't know. What if they have no more available? Like what if they need somebody to do this and you don't know anything and you're the only one who should be doing it and you don't know anything. And or what if this job is available and it pays better, one day. And there you are. If you already know the job, you're already familiar with the job, then you can get it. And I believe also everything it can be learned. Everything can be learned. There is always a training, and there is always the standard operation procedure. That's why, like, just trust in the Lord, and we can do things. We can see in the Bible it says we can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. So yeah, in when I was in the cruise line, I was always just saying the Our Father, the Lord's Prayer, and you know just pray because dang. So we were very very tired, and we really just thought that, oh my gosh, you were very tired like today, and you're gonna hope that tomorrow you're not gonna be working, but still you're gonna be working. You have to work. Or if you don't wanna work anymore, then you're gonna just lose your job. And there's a lot of Filipinos who's trying to get into the cruise job, cruise line industry. So that's what like the just like it's okay. Just handle like just don't complain too much. Just keep praying and just be humble and just like I think when the more we say we are tired, the more we get tired. So the best thing we can do is like just keep going. Exit muna host, tulog time. Okay, salamat. Salamat na sige. Salamat Analo Coffee Lovers. Salamat sa imong time. Salamat Day. Salamat. Sige, mag-exit ka muna. Good night. Yan, okay, narinig mo pala ako. Sige, hindi na ako maglagay sa ano. Sige, salamat eh, good night. Yeah, anyway, yun, there's so much, kahit there's so much people to, there's so much people who is trying to apply for a cruise line. Like, you're gonna just get in there, like, you get to have, when we were applying for a cruise line, we will undergo like six and oh no, one, two, three, three or two interviews. Yes, you get those interviews, and also once you get into that cruise line industry, it's still gonna be up to you if you want to stay. But most of it, we don't want to. We don't want even it's so tired. The hours, but still the best choice, the best opportunity. No, so a lot of people who likes to work there in the cruise line, but they just they were not accepted yet. They don't have the requirements. A lot of this hiring agency in the Philippines, they always required us like we should always have the seaman's book, like the passport, like as a seaman. So how what it takes to have that, we have to be in training. But you know what is so crazy because in the Philippines we got to have everything, like the certificate, like the basic safety, the training for like a far like crowd management. We have to do all the stuff, all the vaccines, all the trainings. But you know what? When we went to the when we were on board in the ship, you know what? The ship is giving those trainings, and you know what? We already spending money for that, and those other countries, they don't. Those other countries, they don't get no training. They just went on board, and the cruise line will provide the training for them. That's so crazy, right? Like I was like, oh, like you really can. You have to spend before you work, before you apply. You have to spend for the basic training. In the Philippines, you have to spend basic training. That's why I have somebody, they would think that, oh, I have no money, I cannot go work in the cruise line, because working in the cruise line, it will require money, because we have to do those trainings, the Siemens book, because you see the vegan now, don't get me wrong, if they are really the hiring agency, if they really need workers, and they thought the workers has experience, the best experience, or the workers has the best ability, or that he is really or she is really fit for the job or perfect for the job, even if they don't have, even if he or she doesn't have those trainings, they're gonna wait on them. But see, on my end, like on my own opinion, before I went to work, before I applied a job in the cruise line, I already provide myself the passport. I already have my Siemens book. I already have all these trainings. So I thought it's 50%, or it's a big green. It's a big if your papers like if your papers are ready, you know. So I have it prepared. I have it prepared. Um, what else? Yeah, those are the things that we are going. Those are the things that our major reason why we want to work in the cruise line. I think it's everybody, but you know what? When we were working the cruise line, there are really people, instead of working smart, they don't want to work anymore, and they would try to, because the job has to be done. So everybody has to work. When somebody is not doing anything, somebody has to do that job. So it's either somebody is having a good time, good life, and somebody is working double. That's how it works. But you know what? When on my during my first, no, it's not my first, my second, third, my second contract, it's like we get this one group. When they were when oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you first also. In the cruise ship, there is a party that's gonna be free beer and free drinks, sodas, like sparkle water or sparkling drinks. The wine is free when they have this party, like for the Philippines, they're gonna give this budget. The cruise line will give the Philippine leaders or Philippine group will ask human resource or the finance or somebody. They will have to coordinate. Yep, you have to coordinate, like they're gonna have to coordinate that they want this budget. And this is our plan. The cruise line would always let us enjoy because they understand how the job, how hard it is to stay on board for like 9 months or 8 months. So the cruise line would actually um, support whatever our like our way of like to inspire us, as to encourage us. So like we're gonna cook Filipino food. Of course, the budget, the financial budget is from the cruise line. We just request for that. Cook Filipino food, yeah, something like that. And of course, there's a lot of people who gonna get drunk, and the next day if they're gonna be throwing up, and somebody reported that they throw up, and the next day they will be made a follow up if they are still sick, so they cannot go to work if they are sick. And yeah, what else do we have to talk? Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, guys? So I could answer, or let me know. You might be working also in the cruise line, and we have, we can tell our friends, all around the world. But yeah, so far that's all. Like as far as I know, but I know it's just there's a lot more. Like, oh, I got one more. I got one more. One of my friends, she was just trying to stay away from her family. So because she gets so much pain, so she want to stay away from the family, like just to try to heal herself or something like that. At least you realize it's so working hard in the cruise line. Like, oh, literally, we have to work hard, and carry heavy loads, And guess what? You know what? This new cruise line, they have to carry. When I was on the cruise line, before I was get promotion, when I was working in the waiter side or waitress. Oh my, you can't believe this. When in the nighttime when we were working in a dining room, we have to carry like at least, like if you are very, you don't really have to carry that, but if you are very very busy in the dining room, you really you will be forced to carry like 16 plates. Imagine 16 plates with the covers. So if you're gonna see those videos, those restaurant waitress from we called it galleys, kitchen galleys, kitchen. They gonna carry those tray around tray, and they just what's this it's gonna each place, like it's a round oval tray. It's an oval tray. It's not round. It's oval tray. And the oval tray, you can put one in the end of the edge, and then one in the middle, and another one in the middle, and then the other one in the edge. So it would be one, two, three, four, and that would be four. It will be 16. So three levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it will be 4 levels. That's what you're gonna carry. Like if you are very busy, you don't have to. Therefore, a lot of waitress, or yeah, a lot of waitress, mostly waitress. That's the pain that you're gonna enjoy, like the back pain, or they're gonna broke their back, or like we were taught how to carry a tray, where there's always a training, because there's always an accident or an incident about, like imagine, the dining plate or the dinner plate is very heavy on its own, because we are in the, what's this, in the dining table, like especially when we are in the special restaurant, they have very heavy plate. Yeah, the heavy plate, and then it's heavy already, plus the food. Plus the oval tray is heavy. So that's what we have to carry as a waitress. And the most of the waitress, we will come home like for emergency because we hurt their back, you know, hurt their back, so they're gonna need to have the back operation. Or actually, in the cruise line, when we sign on, we are given they are giving us they're giving us the they're giving us the back support to support our back. And they are teaching us, they always give us the training on how to carry the tray, like how to carry the tray on the right position. Like you have to, just don't carry the tray like you should bend your knees and carry the tray like these hands only. Because I get a friend, I get a friend. She was so sick. She has to be sent off in the Philippines, and she has to be on leave, sick leave, because her her back was really really bad. So those are just one of those things. The those things that, what, we're gonna get discouraged, but still we still have the we still have the encouragement, or we still want to work, you know, in the cruise line, despite of the hard job, or despite of the very very crazy schedule, or like very tiring working hours. But still, after this working hours tiring, if you're doing it in the Philippines, that is really crazier. That is really bad, but it's not that bad anymore, because in the Philippines you have to fight with the traffic every day, you know, and the salary is just nothing, and you work more than like killing yourself working, and you don't make nothing, like almost nothing, You cannot send, if you are making like $8, $10 a day, you cannot send your kids to college, like, but that's one of those things, like, hmm, we get to do what we get to do. So anyway, guys, I think that's all for this topic, like the major reason why we work on the cruise line. We want to be in the cruise ship, good food, good salary. Most Filipinos anyway. Good food, good salary. You will be able to see different places. Okay, I would have to go now, and thank you so much for watching this video. Have a good time.
Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a good time. God, I'm losing hair. That was great. You off?
Yep.